my top defensive streamers for week 7. I'm going to start it off with the Indianapolis Colts, and I've gone this well before. Hasn't always consistently worked out this year, especially these last 2 weeks. 0 and 3 points. Wolf, why would I ever trust this team again? And that was a decent matchups against Jacksonville and Tennessee. Yet you look at what the Colts have done at home. They have been significantly better. That's going to be a trend with the next defense we talk about as well. 11 and 8 fantasy points in their last 2 home games did the Colts rack up, including 4 sacks. Again, it's not causation. I get it. But teams do consistently have those kind of bumps in their home ground, their home turf here. And who's coming for them? But the Tyler Huntley-led Dolphins, a phenomenal matchup here. 3rd in points allowed to defenses. 10-plus points surrendered in 4 straight games have the Miami to their fantasy defenses. Double digits. That's very rare to have that steady of production from your defensive position, including both of Huntley's starts. Teams have put up over 10 or more points, and the Dolphins have not topped 15 points in 3 straight weeks. They've allowed 2 or more sacks in every single game, 3.2 sacks on the season. That's what the Colts can do well when they are fully healthy. It's not a great defense. They give up big plays in the passing game. Maybe Tyreek gets shaken free in this game, but ultimately, I like the Colts as an opportunistic defense at home that's played really well. Just as good at home are the Saints. In the Superdome, they've put up 14, 11, and 9 fantasy points. All were top 12 games for the fantasy defense position, and they have averaged 9 points per game on the season. They're top 12 in that metric as well. And I get it. Last week, 51 points allowed against the Bucs. But they still had 3 picks to the Saints defense. They still had a touchdown. They still put up 9 fantasy points. That's the thing with fantasy defenses. You see these 51-point data say this team could never be good for me, and yet they still had a solid game. And now you got Bo Nix. I can't imagine a world where Bo Nix puts up 51 points on Thursday Night Football. I can't imagine a world where Bo Nix puts up 20 points on Thursday Night Football coming into the Superdome. You got, again, this great setup for turnovers here. Bo Nix, he hasn't been sacked a whole lot. He's been very mobile in the pocket, but he has been careless with the ball. With their top 7 right now in interceptions, they mustered up 16 points against a good Chargers defense, but that almost all came in the 4th quarter. They were scoreless through 3 periods and ultimately only had 100 yards entering the 4th quarter. So they really did put it together at the end of the game there. But man, they're not good. This is not a good team. They're giving up plenty of sacks. They're allowing nearly 7 points per game to fantasy defenses. I think the Saints at home on Thursday night on that short week can definitely have themselves a solid effort. The last defensive streamer I will toss out there are the Cincinnati Bengals, 18% rostered. They've been a laughingstock of a defense this entire year, but they're coming off a 10-point fantasy day. They were defensive 10 on the week as well. They only allowed 7 points to the Giants, 2 sacks, 1 interception. But we're now getting them against Cleveland, who has not scored 20 points all year, has not amassed 300 yards of offense in any of their 6 games. They've been below 250 yards of offense in 5 of those 6 games. 13.5 points per game is only better than Miami, giving up the 5th most points to defenses, primarily due to an insane 31 sacks allowed, by far the most in the league. They got both tackles back this last week, and they still gave up 5 sacks on the day because Deshaun Watson holds the ball for so long. It's ridiculous he's not getting benched. I don't understand it. Makes no sense, but I will continue to use defenses, even pathetic ones like the Bengals, against him. They've given up 9 fantasy points to 5 of the 6 teams they have faced. At least 9 fantasy points, multiple double-digit days as well. So to me, the Bengals are feeling like a nice, safe, locked-in defense against this horrible Browns team. I will toss out there that the Bills apparently on Sleeper are also only they're 49% rostered on Sleeper. They're 75% on Yahoo, so I didn't think to include them. But if you're on Sleeper or the Bills are somehow lingering out there, they do get the Titans pick 6 machine, Will Levis on the other side, just the most embarrassing quarterback besides Deshaun Watson in the NFL right now. So I want to toss out the Bills as a potential ad as well. What is up, you fantasy wolf? Thanks so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, share your thoughts in the comments, check out some more videos, and join the newest Wolfpack by subscribing below.